Today in Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the UpLULA Magloader. Hey, this is Adrienne with Review This Thing. Before we get into the UpLULA Magloader, do us a big favor, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell. If you have one of these, share your experience with us below, and if you have any other questions, ask those as well. Now this review is probably going to be one of our shorter ones because it's pretty straightforward, so let's go ahead and review this thing. As always, I want to cover all the facts. The first part is fit. Now the company that makes the UpLULA is called Magloader, and they have several other different magazine loaders that fit all sorts of different guns. This one is meant to fit a 9mm to a 45. How it works is pretty simple. You just take the universal loader, put it over your magazine, squeeze so that it's the correct size, and then you can load from there. It's designed to fit pretty much anything from 9mm to 45 ACP. I myself have used this one on a 9mm, a Smith & Wesson, and a Taurus, as well as a 40 caliber. I have a couple friends who have one of these, and they've been able to use it on other calibers as well, including a 380 and a 45 caliber. If you check the MagLULA website, they're pretty upfront about the magazines that it won't fit, so make sure you check that out before you buy the particular loader you want to use. As far as the size of the device, you can see that it's not very tall and not very wide, and especially when you put it in the lock position, then it stays even more narrow, and it's also very lightweight. So it's not going to take up a lot of room in your range bag. You can even throw it in your pocket, so it's definitely easy to carry. So what kind of score are we going to give fit? Mainly because we just needed it to fit a 9mm and a 40 cal, and it's small, lightweight, and easy and compact to store. I'm going to have to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now is the UpLULA as advertised. The first thing that MagLULA advertises about the UpLULA is that it's a one-size-fits-all magazine loader. I already talked a little bit about how it works. Once you squeeze and insert the plastic piece, pull down, then it leaves space to add your round. You add that round, you release the squeeze and lift up, it slides back up, you repeat, and then you're easily able to fill up your magazine. The next thing that advertises is that it is easy to load without thumb pain. Now for me, I am incredibly terrible at loading a magazine with my thumb. I almost feel like it's one of those horrible infomercials where you over-exaggerate how terrible you are, but I'm really that bad. So for me, this thing is a thumb saver because I'm able to load the magazine a lot more easily without thumb pain. They also advertise that it is going to be about 1 round per second. Because I'm so terrible at loading it, I wanted to test and see how long it would take. I've got about 8 rounds in this magazine, and it took me like 2 minutes and something, and I just gave up because I couldn't get the other ones in there. I used my UpLULA Magloader on that same magazine, and it took 17 to 19, depending on the time, seconds to load all 11 rounds in it. Maybe as I get better at it, it'll be at 1 second a piece, so at maybe 1 1/4 seconds. I'd say it's pretty doggone close. So is the UpLULA as advertised? Super easy to use, absolutely saves my thumb pain, saves a lot of aggravation for me, and it also makes it a whole lot faster to load. So I'm going to have to give as advertised a 5 out of 5. Now into construction and durability. The UpLULA is made of a military grade plastic. I have only had it a few weeks, but I wanted to tell you guys about it because I absolutely love it, and thus far I haven't had any problems. I mentioned I have a couple friends who have them, and they've had them for years, and have probably put hundreds if not thousands of rounds through theirs, and they haven't had any issues, nothing breaking, nothing wearing down. Now as far as construction, I mentioned the size in the fit category, but I just want to also mention here that it's actually a very good size too for gripping. My hands aren't very big, so sometimes I have a little bit of trouble gripping things, but this is absolutely perfect. You can just hold, pull down, and it's easy to repeat. On that note, a friend of mine who has this device, I asked him to send me a video of him loading his 380, and he thought it would be a great idea to have his daughter load it so you could see how easy it is to use, and I believe she's 10 and had absolutely no trouble holding it or using it. Now there are a couple of other little features that I just want to point out. One is that you can buy an adapter to attach to the bottom so that you can use the same Magloader to fit 1911s and other single stack magazines. It does have a little ring on the back of it where you can attach that adapter so it's always there, or you can use that ring to attach to maybe a tether so you can always make sure it's nearby and you don't lose it. Another feature I want to point out is that it also has a little piece on the back that is an unloader. This just makes it super easy. It just slides and pops them right out of the magazine. And then finally, one feature I do like is that you can close it and lock it, and that way it doesn't take up as much space in your bag, and there's not as much risk of it getting broken, getting accidentally pulled apart, and that sort of thing. So what score can we give construction and durability? Again, I mentioned my friends have used it for thousands of rounds with no problems. So far I've been having no trouble with mine either. I like the way it's designed, I like the features that it has, and as of right now there's not really much I would change about it. So because of that, I'm going to give construction and durability a 5 out of 5. Now on to testimonials and reviews. One thing I want to point out before we get into the reviews is that on the MagLULA website, they tell you that they don't sell through Amazon. So if you should find one of these on Amazon, it's probably not a real version. As always, I just want to tell you the issues that people had. One of probably the biggest ones, and I actually talked to a couple friends that said the same thing, is they thought they'd be able to pull down and then load all of the rounds at once without having to load one at a time. This doesn't work that way. You do have to load one at a time, so make sure that you know that before you purchase if you're looking for something different. A few other people said that it wasn't as easy to work as they said, and they couldn't get it figured out because it was complicated. I don't really understand that. I think it's super easy to use, and as I mentioned, here's footage of my friend's son, 13 years old. This is the first time they've ever used it. He gave him a quick little lesson and then said, here you go. And you can see that neither of them had any trouble whatsoever. And then finally, I think one person said that their magazine was kind of between a double stack and a single stack size, and it didn't work at all for them. I haven't tried that, but I'm assuming that has to be accurate, so keep that in mind as well. Even though there are a couple of little complaints, above and beyond, they get fantastic reviews. So we always tell you the score we found. So for testimonials and reviews, 4.9 out of 5. Now, should I buy this thing? In case you haven't figured it out, this is going to be a pretty easy one for me to answer. The main reason I wanted to do this review is because I think this thing is awesome and I absolutely love it. Now, if you don't have any thumb issues loading and you can load them pretty fast, or if you were hoping for something that would just load all of the rounds at one time, then this is not what you're looking for. But if you are like me and have an incredibly difficult time loading magazines with your thumb and just wanted something to make that process way easier, then this thing is definitely for you. I found it online at a couple stores like Academy and Bass Pro for $35. When I made this video on sportsmanswarehouse.com, they were right at $25, which is a pretty good price, and for me is absolutely worth it. Like I said, you already got this figured out. Should you buy this thing? 5 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our UpLULA Magloader review. While you're here, watch a whole bunch of other reviews, share this video with your friends, give us a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. And also, while you're here, take a second and follow us on Facebook and on Instagram.